Aloha and mahalo for tuning in to Transform Hawaii Government's Digital Talk Story, where I will be talking with our local government officials and leaders and discussing the work that they are doing to modernize our state programs and services. My name is Christine Sakuda, the Executive Director of Transform Hawaii Government. On our call today, it's my pleasure to be talking story with Director Mike McCartney with the Department of Business, Economic Development and Tourism. Welcome, Mike.
Aloha, thanks for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you on our Digital Talk Story today. So let's just get right into it. The first question is, as we continue to experience the pandemic, we thought maybe a year ago we would be done now, but here we are with a new variant. We're still kind of working our way out of the pandemic, and the public has really gotten to know government systems and have had the chance to touch government systems. And there could be this perception that innovation isn't taking place within state government. What are some of the initiatives and projects that you are proud of accomplishing in your department?
Yeah, thank you. May I just comment, Christine, also on the issue of the pandemic, that it has been tragic in many cases, but it's also been an accelerator, and it's exposed weaknesses, but it's also exposed opportunities and gaps. So government has been taking advantage of that, and the failures that people may see are being fixed by innovation, whether they be workers' comp systems or others. And so you see people innovating and using technology. So within DBEDT, one of the things that I'm really proud of is our sandbox that we have, and it's an Entrepreneurs Sandbox where people can get together and co-working spaces and collaborate. And I think that's going to be part of the future. And there's an initiative in there called the True Initiative, where you have businesses who are normally competitors get together and collaborate and try to find technology solutions that would be common for everyone to use and the whole state can use. And so it's a true public-private community partnership. And it's fun to watch that evolve, because I think those kind of things are accelerating. And in the pandemic, we did a lot of things, like had to get out CARES Act money really fast, like for rent relief. I think people might remember we got the restaurant card out there. We gave pivot grants to small businesses to help them adapt to new technology, because what COVID has done is accelerate the digital economy, and it's not going to be the same. It's going to be different, and we will have a world that is going to be a digital economy. So I think that we've been adopting and taking advantage of that at multiple levels within state government and in the business community.
Thank you, Mike. And I am executive committee member of the True Initiative, and it is great from my perspective as THG and a nonprofit organization. It's great to see the level of collaboration that occurs at the Entrepreneurs Sandbox and Kaka'a with all of these different stakeholders to really develop and light bulb, new opportunities and new ways of thinking. From the perspective of DBEDT and I'm running a state agency, how does that get applied across government? That kind of innovation, is it possible to replicate that across other departments, and what recommendations would you have? Because of course the Entrepreneurs Sandbox is very connected to DBEDT.
It is, and I think what's important is creating a safe space so that people can talk to each other, because technology is important and innovation is important, but you need a safe space where people can have honest conversations, where there's communication, common understanding, mutual respect, then collaboration, cooperation, and then it's the collective action to make things happen. And so we're doing a lot of that. We want DBEDT's job, and what we want to do is be a facilitative catalyst to help the new economy that's emerging be more sustainable and develop in the long term. So we have to live it ourselves. And so one of the things that we've adopted is the One Shared Future program. And that's a program that helps all of us look at self-care and how do we take care of ourselves so we can do our jobs and take care of the community and public needs. And then it also has programs that look at our strengths instead of our weaknesses. We have a program called Strength Finders. And so it's able to look at everyone's strengths and let's focus on that and resolve problems. So I see a lot of that kind of innovation taking place within our department. And I think that we'll be ready for the new economy that's emerging. So it'll be less programmatic and I think more action oriented, that bridges community and business. So we say that the future is dependent on public health, community well-being, and economic prosperity. And it's about harmony between those three, you know, more than just balancing those forces, but creating harmony.
Yeah, thank you for that, Mike. And hopefully other departments are implementing their versions of self-care, especially during some of the big modernization projects that are coming up. So even with this latest infrastructure bill that is coming down from the federal government, now more critical than ever, the state has a unique opportunity to take advantage of all of these federal funds and invest in some critical infrastructure. And of course, we have to invest in highways and not so much bridges here, but you know, the traditional infrastructure, but also technology infrastructure within government, because government's the backbone of you know, some of the public services. And so when you look into your crystal ball of, you know, what can we do to support the state's ability to build, you know, meaningful infrastructure, what kind of, you know, thoughts or advice do you have?
I think it's a wonderful opportunity, right? With climate change and the need for to go beyond zero emissions and clean energy and a digital economy that's emerging. And so the infrastructure bill and the federal funds that are coming down are you know, seed money that we can use as capital within our community capital to create the infrastructure so we can continue to thrive. So for example, in the old days, it might have been harbors and airports and highways. Now it's broadband. We need to also be connected that way digitally, so Hawaii remains connected to the world. And so, you know, maybe in the future, you can work for anybody from here instead of having to go there. And so that's going to be a very important infrastructure piece as we go forward. And I think, you know, the other pieces that, you know, go with it are going to be affordable housing. It's going to be, you know, good schools and childcare, and putting in, you know, the kind of things like the sewer line so that we can build vertically. So I think Hawaii is going to be in an exciting place because it's a transformation that's just bigger than one thing. It's almost everything. So the cooperation and that has to happen between all of us in the island community is only going to amplify itself. And I think we can export that knowledge to people in the future, because if we can do it, then we can share it. So I'm excited. It's going to be a struggle. It's not going to be easy, but I think that's what creates the opportunity. And I think the next generation and the generations coming up, it's in their DNA. So I think people like us, we have to create the safe space and the opportunity for that to incubate and grow. And there will be mistakes, and let's just fix the mistakes and then go forward. You know, we waste too much time and energy on the politics of blame. You know, we only got limited time and energy to accomplish things. So, you know, let's acknowledge mistakes, fix them, and then go forward.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. And I can't agree with you more that we have a unique opportunity now. And you had mentioned that you provided this sort of safe space within DBED for people to take care of themselves, so that help take care of yourself so you can help take care of other people. And as other departments embark on large IT modernization initiatives, you know, given your experience, what advice do you have for those departments or those projects to help ensure success, since there will be a lot of funding coming in? What can they do to be successful?
Well, interesting. I just talked to Isaac Choi today of the tax department, and he says, Mike, the tax modernization system, it's unreal. It's amazing. And it's going to help us do a lot of analysis and do better collections. And that money is for everybody. It's going to pay for teachers. It's going to pay for healthcare workers,
Yeah.
And so yes, there were struggles before, right? And there were challenges and people, but now look at it. The new director he's so happy with those tools. And
that's great.
So what I would tell people is don't give up. Work with the people, create a safe space, go slow to go fast. If you want to go fast, you got to go alone. If you want to go together, and if you want to go far, you got to go together. And we always say that, but doing it is much harder. So we're going to have to spend time with each other, not just directors and deputy directors or branch or division chiefs, but throughout. We got to get different teams of people together to see the common interests, and then communicate, collaborate, cooperate, and then take collective action. And I think that's happening. And our governor has created that environment. That's the David Ige I've always known, since 1988. And that I think that's one of the long-term legacies he's going to leave by changing that trajectory of Hawaii, by looking at those internal things that maybe won't show up on the news every day, but will pay off in years to come as people execute programs, efficiently, effectively, and productively in the future.
Thank you for that. And Transform Hawaii government's mission is to advocate for an open, transparent, accountable, responsive government that leverages technology. What would you like, and behind Transform Hawaii government is a coalition of community stakeholders that kind of advocate with us. What role should THG play to help support this vision that you have, which I think that's my vision too, is nurturing the workforce that we currently have, providing opportunities for a new workforce to really build a resilient kind of government infrastructure. So is there anything that you would like THG to do or to support moving forward?
If anything, please get more involved. The work you're doing with like the Department of Transportation, and trying to get everyone working together to effectively process federal funds through a system that maybe isn't used to that, through multiple departments, and just being there as part of the safe space and a trusted source where people can talk to you, and then you can help us facilitate to work out the problems, because we do need help. That an outside third party that's neutral and independent is a valuable tool, and because anybody could come up with the technology, but then it's helping bridge that, and you can't do that overnight. It takes time to build the relationship and trust, and I think your organization has done that, and if anything more, is just keep doing that and find more and more external private sector partners that are willing to come in and help that way. And,
well, thank you, Mike. It is a cockhole thing. It takes all of us together, working together to do that. And so I believe our time is up. And so this time passed by very, very, very quickly. And I wanted to thank you, Director Mike McCartney, for joining me today on the Digital Talk Story series with Transform Hawaii Government. Mahalo for your time and for sharing your mana'o, and mahalo to everyone for watching. Thank you.
Aloha and mahalo.